well, hello and welcome, Broncos country. I'm Kodiak Broncos, and today I'm here to talk about some of the worst plays that we have seen from the Broncos against the Tennessee Titans, and why I'm going to be breaking down the offense, and why I actually think Sean Payton called a decent game. But ultimately, this takes us back to what we had originally said about the Broncos, and why I think they just need to execute better. And yeah, without further ado, let's dive right into it. I think a lot of the blame on this offense's performance on Sunday should rely on Bo Nix. So I'm about to tell you guys why, but before we get into it, I just want to say leave a like if you enjoy, subscribe if you're not already. Huge mile high salute to you all for making this one of my favorite things in my life currently right now. And let's dive right into it. So first of all, the first thing I'm going to focus on here is the Tyler Bidet no catch here. And the thing you need to realize here is that this is a well-timed, well-designed play. Okay, it's 2nd and 15. We've got Denver on the Tennessee 21. And if Tennessee, or if the Broncos are able to execute this, this is a touchdown. Like, this is 1000% a touchdown just based on the numbers they have. And if there is anything you want to put on Bo Nix, I guess you could say that he can't, fire the ball at Bidet right here. But Bidet, let's be an NFL running back and let's help out our quarterback here. And let's take this thing to the house. Instead, we got to settle for 3 on an opening drive, which, I mean, if Bidet catches this, this could have given a lot of momentum to the offense to play with a lead, to get off to a fast start, and ultimately he's just unable to do it. So once again, the call was great, the execution just was not there whatsoever. And yeah, I think a lot of people are fine with seeing Jaleel McLaughlin after that screen. I think I'll give Bidet one more week because we've seen what Jaleel looks like in the past 2 seasons, and honestly, he's not that great. But if Tyler Bidet continues to do stuff like that, I'll be ready for Jaleel McLaughlin sooner rather than later. All right, so this one, let me just remind myself about what we got right here. Okay, yeah, this one, this was a completion, but the only thing you need to know about this exact play right here is, why is Bo Nix stepping up in the pocket and he's making life so much difficult on himself? Like, look, this is a clean pocket. We're going to watch it at full speed, or at least 0.75 speed so I don't get demonetized. But we're going to watch this one more time, okay? This is about as good a pocket as you'll find. And why are you running up? Why are you running up and making things difficult on yourself? Okay, once this pocket, you guys can see how massive this pocket is. Like, listen, as far as I'm concerned, when you're a mobile quarterback and you have legs like Bo Nix, yes, this is about as good as you could hope for. But listen, you don't need to be mobile. You don't need to be on the run all the time. You don't need to just be jittery and shaky all the time. And I felt like Bo Nix was one of those guys who, it looked like he snorted like 3 lines of pre-workout before he came onto the field on Saturday or Sunday. That's how I'm feeling about his performance against the Tennessee Titans. So when I see stuff like this, I'm just like, all right, cool. You know what? It's fantastic, but we got to shake out these bad habits, because these bad habits ultimately laid the groundwork for a lot of the unfortunate plays that happened later in the game. So good job by Bo and Troy Franklin to pick up this first down, but ultimately, I would have just liked to have seen it done a little bit differently there for Bo Nix. All right. What you've all been waiting for. So this was, I believe, this was the pick. Okay. And there are a few things, or no. This was not the pick. This was not the pick. This was a little dump off to RJ Harvey. But here's one thing you need to realize. Yes, there is a defender down here, but listen. If Bo Nix keeps his head up just a little bit more and they're able to hit this, and I know that ultimately this play was blown up by the defensive tackle kind of getting in the running lane right there. Like, Sebastian Joseph Day does get a little bit of leverage on Bulls here, or I think that's Powers to just barely kind of disrupt this play, so let's get on him. But I get the design was not to look downfield, but hey, if we keep our eyes up a little bit more, we've got big yardage right here. We've got a big chunk play, and Lord knows what can happen if you throw it up to this guy. And ultimately, I feel like you do throw it up to this guy on a play where you shouldn't have, and you end up getting picked. So yeah, that's how I'm feeling about that. But regardless, so as I have circled there, I do have the player who is coming wide open circled there. And once again, we just got to go through our progressions here. We just got to go through our progressions, and we just got to execute better. That's all it boils down to, because, I know a lot of people can criticize Sean Payton's management of this game, and deservedly so. Like, I'm not trying to defend him as a head coach whatsoever, but as an offensive coordinator, I felt like he schemed this game pretty well. I felt like the Broncos had a leg up on Tennessee in a lot of cases, and we just couldn't execute. All right, so this is the pick, and I want to go back to a couple things here. First of all, yes, Guy kind of bearing down on Nix right there, But listen, okay, watch. I put equal blame on Marvin Mims and Bo Nix for this interception, and you're about to see why. So, first of all, this is NFL Open. Like, Cortland Sutton is coming NFL Open right here, especially with our quarterback who's on the move, and we know he can make things out of nothing. We know what he is, and I get why he tried to take a shot on 2nd and 18 to dig themselves out of a hole after a crucial holding penalty. But listen, like, is this not NFL Open? Is this not a better area that we could have thrown it to even before this DB starts to break on the ball, even after this DB is still respecting the vertical speed of Marvin Mims? Also, when you do watch Marvin Mims right here, one thing you do need to notice is that he was running at basically half effort. He was not really giving a whole lot of effort on this play in general. Sorry, you guys can see my bar right there. It's a little more, my like time bar. It's a little more noticeable in that green, in now that we have full field of green. But regardless, watch Marvin Mims. Watch Marvin Mims right here. So the defender doesn't have to respect his vertical speed. And when you're a guy who runs 4.39 like Marvin Mims, when you know that you can strike at any point on the field, when you are the Broncos' best offensive playmaker, you got to give better effort. Like, look. So he doesn't give enough effort. And then what ends up happening is the defender's like, oh, okay, it's not going towards him. Then the defender makes a heck of a play on the ball. Like, I know a lot of people are saying that Cortland needs to work back for the ball, but that defender should have been never been in the vicinity in the first place had Marvin Mims kept running his routes. So sorry I keep replaying it. I know it looks a little ugly when I just keep going back and back and back. But yeah, that's how I'm feeling about that. That's how I'm feeling about that play in particular. Like, watch it from that angle, and that should have never happened, ever. Very next one, Tyler Bidet and Bo Nix just aren't on the same page, and that's, one of those things that Bidet is still relatively inexperienced in this offense. Like, I know he has been on the team since 2022, but he's still a rather unknown commodity when it comes to playing offense in this Sean Payton system. And I know that Dobbins and Harvey too, so it's not really much of an excuse, but he's a little late looking for this ball. Like, the angle won't show up, but he is a little late looking for this ball. Does it need to be a better ball? Yes, I think so. Because it's 3rd and 3, and he caught this, he most likely turns upfield, and it most likely goes for a first down. So it's a little behind him, and unfortunately they just couldn't do it. Once again, better execution. Got to iron out the little things, and it's week 1. So that's ultimately why I'm not concerned about this team. I know it can be easy to take this video and for the message to be like, you're concerned about the team. No, I am not. I am not whatsoever, but we just got to hone it in, especially because, Sean Payton, he demands his guys to execute at a very high level. In a lot of cases, he gets it fixed like that overnight. So I'm not concerned whatsoever, but once again, we do need to be a little bit more dialed in, if anything. All right, so this is the strip sack, and the thing you need to notice here is that you can blame Ben Powers for getting beat, but as far as I'm concerned, this is an NFL level pocket. And from the other angle, Bo Nix does not have anything, so all the guys were covered. Tennessee did a pretty good job at covering our guys, I would say, for the most part this game. They did a pretty good job playing defense. It wasn't a bad defense last year. They're not the usual number 1 overall piss poor sorts of teams, but their coach is just really bad. But either way, so I'm going to show you guys this again. Once again, I'm going to show you guys this, and you guys can see that, hey, as far as I'm concerned, looks like we got something there with Bo Nix. Like, do we not have, with the legs he has, do we not have a pocket to run? Do we not have a running lane, I mean? And I guess if there is one critique you could say, or one counter you could say, is that, all right, Cody Barton is up here, but, man, you force Barton to make a decision, you climb up in this pocket, then you force a check down to Dobbins. Dobbins might take it for a first down. So instead we get strip sacked. And once again, you can blame Ben Powers for getting beat, but Bo Nix should have never had this ball in his pocket for that long, or in his hands that long to begin with. All right, ready? We're going to go back. We're going to count it. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't get it, man. It was just a rough day for Bo Nix. This is a pretty good play by the Titans defender, so there's not anything that you really need to notice here. If there is anything that you can critique right here, it's that Bo Nix did a horrible job at just locking onto his target, and he made a decision of where to go with the football before like the play had played out, and before he read anything post-snap. So I guess you can critique him for that if you really, really want to. But um, we just got lucky above all else. We got lucky that because this was a dangerous football, and I think it was credited as a turnover-worthy play. So, yeah, man, if they wait a little bit longer, this is a really, really ugly uh, outcome for us. But luckily, it wasn't. This one, we've got Lucas Kroll and Bo Nix just not being on the same page. So I don't know what the assignment was, but like I said, early in the year, like I said, this is something that will get honed in. This is something that will get figured out with the Sean Payton coach team. But yes, so Lucas Kroll, I know a lot of people are saying that Kroll should have stopped here. I don't know the assignment. We won't know the assignment because we're not in the Denver Broncos meeting rooms. We're not going to be like, hey, Bo, get it together, or hey, Lucas, get it together. But after the poor chemistry these two showed last year, uh, I don't know what to think of it. But ultimately, it should have been a first down for the Broncos. Instead, we had to punt the football. Got a great outcome because it led to us getting the football back. But once again, need to be better. Need to execute better. Need to execute at a higher level. All right. So this one is the second interception from Bo Nix, and you're going to notice it gets caused by Jeffrey Simmons just basically wrecking us here. I don't fault anybody here except for Adam Troutman, okay? Watch Adam Troutman next to Garrett Bowles. I have him highlighted right here. Okay, so when we come out of the slow motion, Adam Troutman is still like taking steps backward. Let's watch that one more time. All right, let's get out of the slow motion. Adam Troutman's first two steps, boom, backward. Then he's like, oh crap, Jeffrey Simmons is just wrecking us on the interior. So he gets his hands on him, but way too late. And then Bo Nix throws an errant football. Once again, I don't blame that on Bo Nix. Like, yes, does he need to be a little bit more careful, especially on 2nd and 4? Sure, absolutely. But listen, man. This offensive performance, this disastrous performance was not just solely on Bo Nix, okay? It was on everybody. So, yeah. Adam Troutman does not get or takes steps outwards too early or too far often and does not work back inside quick enough to help Garrett Bowles with that block right there. Once again, you can blame Bowles for getting beat, but Adam Troutman should have had him with that double team right there. That's not a good play by Simmons. It's just a poorly executed double team, I should have said. All right, so this one, if I remember correctly, this is Troy Franklin. Yep, and he's coming wide open in the middle of the field right here. And so this is NFL open, but the problem is he slips. And unfortunately, we're not able to get it to him. All right, once again, he slips, and okay, it hits his hands. So I have it frame by frame right here. It does hit him in the hands. And do we need to be an NFL wide receiver and maybe make a tough catch when we're slipping and help out our quarterback who's had a rough game? Yes, especially because this was the fourth quarter. Had we sustained a drive, this would have been a backbreaker for the Tennessee Titans. Instead, we gave them a million opportunities to get back in the game. But yeah. So let's play that one more time. Let's play this one more time. All right, team. So what do I think of the performance so far? It wasn't good. But I'm not entirely concerned. Once again, here's why. Bo Nix was shaky, and this was week 1 last year. He did start slow, he started slow early in September last year too. He started slow at Oregon in 2022 and 2023. I remember his first game at Oregon. I was watching it downstairs in my living room, and they lost like 45-3 in Athens, or Atlanta, I think, because it was a neutral site. But yeah, ultimately, the performance of the team lies a lot on Bo Nix's shoulders on Sunday, but it wasn't just all his fault. And Sean Payton, he doesn't mess around with the way that guys prepare. He doesn't mess around with the way things are executed in practice. Therefore, that's how I'm feeling. I think things could have been a lot better for Bo Nix on Sunday, but things could have been better for the Broncos offense. So we just didn't execute well enough. I think this was a fine called game by Sean Payton. People are like, Davis Webb calling the plays. I'm just like, dude, get out of here. That's a bunch of nonsense. So yeah, that basically does it for me. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and I will see you guys next time. Mile high salute.